Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Saggies. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for Saggy here in early October? What energies, messages, insights, wisdom can we share? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself at the very end. I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy in early October. Beautiful time of year, Libra season. What is happening for my good friends? I mean, that means for a lot of people with Saggy placements, all these Libra transits are definitely hitting you in a different way. Lots of astrological things happening here. This is an extremely creative energy I'm seeing right here in the front. And what I say about this initially is that I often see this in water sign readings. Like, this is a card I always see in like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So I'm liking that it's showing up here because that shows a lot of potential for certain things that you might be working towards. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So there's a lot of symbolism here. We see in the center, there's this art model. It looks like she's posing. There's sculptures, there's paintings, there's all sorts of creative endeavors. Now, we could take this a couple of different ways. For a portion of you, with all these creative juices flowing, maybe you're in la la land a little more than normal. Maybe you're thinking, maybe you're fantasizing, maybe there's something that's on your mind quite a bit when this energy's here. But to me, there's a strong creative potential. Now, it doesn't just have to be artistically. Now, for some of you, it could be. So you might need to let some energy out in the creative realms, okay? Whether it's music, art, writing, you name it. But for another portion of you, there's just a lot of potential. That's what I feel when I see this. So you might be having great ideas. Just know, like, certain things, if they pop into your mind, like eureka flashes and stuff like that, there's a lot of potential here for you, okay? Or whatever things that you're focused on could have potential if you want there to be. So we're just going to leave it at that. I mean, some of you might just be overthinking. You know the deal. You know how it goes with these cards. So we'll let her chill over there. She could keep posing. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright, then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Saggy friends. What's happening, guides and spirit team? And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Important Warning. Now, I believe there were a couple of different warnings that were showing up for you. I can't recall all of them. There might have been something about the circle of influence or people around you, like keeping your eyes on certain individuals. I will say, as a whole, for the entire zodiac, there was a lot of fire energy. There was a lot of unpredictability. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards for Saggy, please. What is happening in early October for my good friends? What's going on for Saggy, please? Thank you. 3 wands. Waiting on something? Someone's waiting on something when this card shows up. Could be creating, manifesting. This could be a very good card. I guess it all really depends what shows up after it. Let's get a couple more. What do we got here? Whoa, okay. So you have a lot of fire here. Even though we had that creativity in the very beginning, Ace of Wands could be very good, especially with a fire sign like yourself. Let's get one more out here, and we'll piece it all together. What's happening? What is going on? Thank you. 9 of Wands, so all fire. Okay, there could be something. Ooh. Okay, this is a little different, my friends. This is a little different. I feel like I saw this in the Leos couple weeks ago, and yours is kind of fitting a very similar bill. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, Saggy, I'm going to mention once again, because you know I always look at the elements first because they're very important in every reading. It is all fire element. Wands on wands on wands. Now, since you are a fire sign, this is an energy that you can play nice with. This is an energy that you can roll with. There are certain signs that they would be a little too overwhelmed with this type of energy. Who knows? Maybe some of you have other placements where all this fire energy feels very overwhelming to you. But we're just going to have to see how it goes, because it's like we're waiting. Then we have this Ace of Wands. Then we have this energy. It's like two people in different modes, possibly. There's an energy of like pushing something away as well. So I'm getting a lot of different energies flowing here. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, the Three of Wands. Now, as I said, it's somebody waiting on something. Okay, same could be said over there as well. But we have this person, they're looking out at the shoreline. And I often link this to manifesting, to creating. So for a portion of you, just know your powers to manifest things could be heightened in this time. That's a good thing. That's a good message. For another portion of you, there could be something that is just within reach. It's almost there. It's coming in. And that's a good thing when this card is here. But again, there's somebody waiting, watching the clock in regards to something. Okay, so whether someone's waiting on you, you're waiting on somebody else, it all really depends. Not a lot of movement here, but there's a lot of potential, very similar to that first card I saw. So there is energetic potential, especially with all the fire. And to mention, when it comes to fire, because I got a little sidetracked when I saw all of it, it could be unpredictable, right? Like sometimes it could be really good for moving things forward. It's a lot of passion, a lot of zest, a lot of oomph, a lot of pizzazz. But at the same time, it could be something like fire. You can't always predict where it's going to go. You can only hope to contain it. Moving to the center, here we see it. We have the Ace of Wands. Now, usually aces are extremely, extremely good. This one's a little different than the others, because to me, it's like a spark plug. The Ace of Wands, very fiery. All aces represent opportunities, offers, conversations. Okay, and the Ace of Wands is no different. This could also represent your physical vitality. So if you're going through anything health-wise, or if you've been feeling a little down, a little zapped, this is the type of energy we want to see. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, taking care of the vessel when this card is in the mix. In its positive sense, like, yeah, it's like, okay, I want this. I'm going this way. This is what I want to accomplish, and this is how I'm going to do it. In its negative, like I said, it's very fiery. It's extremely unpredictable. So whether it is a talk or conversation or even an action, we're going to lean towards the positive till I see otherwise. But the way it's showing to me, when we have this Ace of Wands and then this person building their little wall, this person building their wall, it's like two people are trying to protect themselves in some sort of way. Okay, there's a very protective type of energy because this fire is burning in the middle, and both energies on the outside are like, okay, give it a second to cool down. Back end, we have the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. This represents somebody that has a lot of history. They've been through a lot of things, a lot of ups and downs, nervous to get hurt again, possibly. Now, nobody likes getting hurt. Nobody likes to fall victim or prey to certain things, and that's what this Nine of Wands is about, to someone that's going to make sure they don't, like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. That's a big vibe with this card. In its positive sense, it could just represent someone that's very protective of who they love, what they care about. It could be a little territorial, but at the same time, this is someone building a wall, so it could represent communication issues. So when I see this person in their little wall, then a card of communication, then this one, to me, the way the energy is flowing is a couple of different ways, and I'll mention it. So if you look at the picture, literally, this fire burning in the center, these are two areas that are just trying to keep themselves safe, or two individuals that are just like, okay, all right, and then take a step back, give that a minute to settle down. But again, another thing I'm getting here, the energy sweeping over, and this could possibly be rejecting something. So for a Saggy out there, there could be a situation, there could be a thought process, there could be a habit, there could be something where you're like, no thanks. Or, I mean, if you're a cross watcher, this could be your energy too. There's an energy of rejection, which I saw in the Leo reading a couple of weeks ago. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for Saggy, please? I mean, it could be two paths, two options. I mean, let's see. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Three of Wands. And yes, for your reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Three of Wands time. What's happening? Why is that Three of Wands here? We're just going to breeze right on through. Thank you. Okay. I mean, we have the Two of Wands, so it's even more fire here, and there's more waiting. Now, this one does feel a little bit different than what I'm already picking up on this end, because this one has a lot of plans. Now, for a lot of Saggies in this time, I will say for various situations you're going through, it would be best to not wing it. Okay. And I often say with certain signs, like, yeah, just go with your gut, go with your intuition. Sometimes that's the right mode and the right move to make, is just completely follow your gut. If you have those intuitions, just follow it. When I see the Three of Wands and the Two of Wands, there's some sort of planning necessary. So just know whatever situations you're dealing with, you need to be methodical about it, or you need to keep up with it. Okay. Like if you start something, you need to finish it. It's something there where there needs to be follow through, if that makes sense. Now, the other message I'm picking up here, there is a lot of planning going on. So if that's not you and that's not really tying to your situation right now, there could be someone you are linked to with the Three of Wands, Two of Wands. These are two cards that I link heavily to strategy and planning, which again makes sense because it's like we have the plans, now we're going to come to the action, and then we have the reaction. So it's making sense to me. Still all fire. So let's just keep moving. Again, either you need to be methodical and complete something or stick to it, or there could be somebody planning something. So let's keep moving. Let's see what that Ace of Wands is about. Let's see why that Ace is there. I really want to get to that 9. Okay. All right, so watch for certain things flaring up. When I see the Eight of Cups in reverse, underneath the Ace of Wands, like this could be either a situation returning, a person returning, like it's a flare up to me, literally. So in regards to like health and wellness, like stay on top of things, like make sure everything's okay, like follow through, like we were saying here on the front end. Usually this Eight of Cups in the upright is walking away from something. It's going, it's leaving these cups behind. So when we flip it in reverse under the card of action, it's like, oh, I'm back. Ta-da, here I am. Surprise. So for some of you, there could be either a situation returning, and it doesn't have to be nefarious. For a portion of you, maybe this is someone you want to hear from. Maybe this is someone you lost touch with, you haven't heard from in quite a while. This energy does cycle through the zodiac, and I would say for a lot of Saggies, either one, you might be dealing with certain situations you've already dealt with or you're familiar with, or there's a big return of some sort when I see the Eight of Cups in reverse. Very simple, straightforward. Okay, now we could see how the reaction is going to be here on the back end. And remember, these could all be different energies. Right? They could be all different situations, or they could be all linked, right? Like with the strategy and the planning, like planning, the energy could be planning its way back in one way or another. So let's go in on the Nine of Wands and see what's up with that. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is the Nine of Wands here, please, before we get into the recap? Quick, super quick. Yeah, it's a tough one to crack. I mean, we have the Seven of Pentacles, the karmic energy, which also seems like it's in a very similar posture to that Nine of Wands. Like this, I don't want to say this feels insurmountable, but to me it just feels like either it's a tough situation to crack, or if it's a tough nut to crack for one reason or another. Now, I will say this, I'm still picking up this energy of someone with their guard up. Someone's like, I don't know what to make of that, or I don't know what to make of you. For some of you, that could just be a mode you're in. You might be on high alert. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here on the back end, where it's like someone's very alert, and they're watching things, like they're keeping their eye on certain things. And this, to me, just feels like a wall. So again, for some of the Saggies out there, there could be habits, ways of thinking, individuals, certain behaviors even that you are rejecting, that you are building the wall toward. It's like even if the energy is swinging back, it's like, no. I'm putting this wall up. I'm protecting. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is a big card of patience. Okay, so again, this could even swing the other way. When I see the Nine of Wands with the Seven of Pentacles, this could even just be somebody that's waiting, like they're not going to make a move. Or it's like, I'm not going to make a move. I'm going to wait for that person to make a move. So could be both. So it really depends on the situation. There is some complexity here, Saggy, with what I'm feeling. So I guess mileage may vary depending on what you're going through, but this energy here on the back end feels like pretty set. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, my friends, Position number 1, and most of this spread for the 6 cards are fire, so you should be comfortable with this for the most part. We have the 3 of Wands clarified by the 2 of Wands, and I did say for certain situations, either you need to follow through or be very particular about it. There could be a need for strategy and planning. If that's not the case, there could be someone you're connected to where they have a plan themselves or they're planning something. Moving to the center, and just know you could really manifest things, especially if you're looking towards the future, because both of these cards do link to manifesting. So know that you could create a lot of things. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Wands with the 8 of Cups in reverse. Very simple to me. There could be situations, individuals, you name it. Lots of things could be revisited or returning in this time. And it makes sense, like with what's going on astrologically, there could be a lot of things coming back up to the surface. On to the back end, we got a tough one. We have the 9 of Wands with the 7 of Pentacles here. And to me, it's like building an energetic wall of some sort. So a portion of you might just be dealing with a tough situation. For another portion of you, you could be very much on guard, but I also get a stubbornness here as well. If this isn't an energy of rejecting something, it's someone who's like, I'm not making a move. So where like as all the energy sweeping from this end, this one's not budging. So do with that what you will. Please take a screenshot if you'd like to look at it further in depth, but let's see what's in the shadows for you. So let's get a good shuffle here. What do we have for Saggy, please? What is in the shadows for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be good too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What is going on? Thank you. Wow, I mean, am I surprised? Not really, because it was showing up in a very prominent place within the reading itself. We got the Ace of Wands within the shadows. So all the things that I was speaking about kind of still apply about this Ace of Wands. Yes, it could be communication. Yes, it could be extremely fiery. So for a portion of you, there could be big talk coming your way real quick when this card is here. It could be some sort of communication. But again, this is a card of vitality. Okay, and when connected to it, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse underneath this Ace of Wands. This could also be hinting again at possible multiple things coming back up to the surface that you might need to revisit when I'm seeing this in the shadows. The Ace of Wands is all about your energy levels too. I mean, I just can't let go of that because Wands are closely connected to our health. So I just want to tell a lot of Saggies, if you've been feeling a little down or feeling a little off, just please take care of yourself when this shows up as a shadow card. For some of you, your libido could be heightened as well. I mean, that's a one-off message, but hey, it is what it is, right? We're all adults here. We're just going to leave it at that, though, Saggy. That's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar for the month of October at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments, hypothetically, if you had to get a tattoo of a tarot card, which one would you choose and why? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you again soon.